morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Alcana, and welcome to Premarket Info.
What a rally in the futures here overnight. 1445. We're up another 25 points after Monday's big rally. It's really caught the bears by surprise. Market sentiment drives stocks, and that is what is driving your stocks again here this morning. When everybody gets bearish, it's a good idea to look the other way. Key technical levels in the S&P 500 and its top components. We were just at support. We're approaching resistance on a lot of stocks here. Joel, how are you this morning?
Having a great year so far.
Wow. This is an insane rally. Wow.
Yeah, 1,400, that key level holds again. We did sneak below it last Friday. It seems like ions ago. But really, the only thing we can really talk about now is the reference points that we have on the upside. Let's go back only a few days. Well, back in the middle of December, we had a 1446 high. That was the impetus for that major sell-off. Go back a little bit farther, and you had a 1447 and a quarter high on October 19th. We've hit those levels in the pre-market, but not by much. That's major resistance. You got to think some people might want to sell some stock there. The next resistance level I have after that is 1453.50. But boy, I tell you, this is a 70-point move in the S&P in a couple days. You think anybody's going to take any profits?
Man, this is just an unbelievable move. When we did the show on Monday, we were down around 1385 in the pre-market, and then we started to lift. And obviously throughout the day, as you know, word was that they were going to get some type of deal done on the fiscal cliff. The market started to rally, and obviously finished very, very strong near the highs, and the rally continues this morning. We gap and go again up to 1445. You're right, Joel. I think you're coming into resistance here. You got to think there's going to be some sellers. I look up, you get above the 1447. You have a high on October 5th of 1459. But if you're a swing trader, you don't care about risking 5 or 6 points in here. There's got to be some resistance up to this 1450, 1455 area too.
Yeah, and I'll just give a swing number. We have a 10-point range in the S&Ps. They didn't open up until 6 a.m. this morning. And I know we're going to dance around this number a lot, but if we can't hold this 1443 and a quarter level, I look for us to kind of back and fill a little bit.
I don't think we're going to, though. I think we've caught so many traders by surprise here, and this goes right back to market sentiment. I was talking about this on Monday, how a lot of traders were very bearish. Obviously, we had the big sell-off on the Friday, last Friday, if you can remember way back to then, when we did sell off in the after hours, down to 1382. Everybody seemed to be jumping off this. Oh, we're not going to get a deal done. Everything looks really bad. And when you got the majority of market participants all on one side of the trade, all being bearish, that's what happens. All of a sudden, and even the technicals, we were talking about the technicals looked broken. The fundamentals looked broken. Everything looked so broken that everybody was reading the same charts and everybody was getting on the short side or getting out of their longs. And the market does the exact opposite, always punishing the maximum amount of participants. And this has been a rip-your-face-off rally for the bears, and there is some bears caught short.
Definitely. And I was looking at some of the charts yesterday. That's how I spent my New Year's Day. And I was looking at this $500 level in Apple, and we were just saying, oh, it's just hanging here, and it's going to take it. It's going to pierce it out.
Didn't.
When I was looking at it in the exact, opposite way of a way I should have been looking at it, I was looking, instead of saying, oh, we're going to crash through resistance, what I have in front of me was support.
Yep.
And the support was holding. So instead of it being a great short going to 500, it turned out to be a low-risk buy, off that $500 level. And, you got to think, I think Apple's buying some stock back, aren't they? Because I think they targeted this level. That was just unbelievable, the way the SPOOs cracked last
really
Friday,
held.
And Apple didn't even make a new low for a move. So keeping an eye on the top components in the Big Ten can help you. It's just, you better do it the day before except the day after.
Yeah, and the chart, just as bearish as you know, is starting to look as it approached the 500 for the third time. We always say no such thing as a triple bottom. Well, it's going to call me a liar because you always had the bottom back in November, mid-December, and then you could kind of say that 506, 507 area, which we hung out for a couple of days there on Friday and on Monday, and then we just took off to the races there on Monday and started rallying, and we never looked back. And now we've just continued that rally, and the trend, that overall resistance trend line that I drew there, is broken now, and it's starting to move up. So you're exactly right. The 500 technical level held. We kept saying, for the last month that 500 needs to hold. We were speculating it might get taken out. It did not, and it's the exact opposite way. And as bearish as it looked before, it looks just as bullish, man. It looks it looks scary if you're short this stock now.
Yeah, let's just take a look at the pre-market high, 548.63. That just coincides almost perfectly with some highs you had at the beginning of the December, 548 and 549.56. Also, that psychological 550 level, that would be your resistance in Apple. Maybe a good place to take off some longs. I don't know if I'd be shorting it.
And then you got Goog, and for the longest part on Monday, the stock wasn't participating. The market was up 20 points and Google was flat. But then towards the end of the day, Google actually started to rally too. So you had this, it was around 130 where it was actually down on the day. And I was looking, why is Google not participating? And it actually breached 700. You see it on the chart there, got down to 699.78, just breaching the 700 area. You probably caught a few people saying, oh, it's through 700 again here now. I'm going to try it short. And boom, the thing rallied up to 711, probably in about an hour, hour and a half, and then peeled back a bit. But then closed near the highs and continuing here this morning up at 717.
Yeah, let's take a look at the pre-market high in the Googster, 718. Take that. It's pulled back a little bit since then. Reference point for you Google traders, 718.82 was the high in the 21st. And then things open up to the 723 and 729.10 level. But since their last earnings miss, Dennis, they've taken back over half of that move and are trying to just sneak back up there. It's like it never happened.
Yeah, and talking about another stock sneaking back up, Facebook, Joel, it obviously breached that old support level that we had talked about last week at around 26.30. Got as low as 25.15, but got an upgrade from BMO, which gave it a lift on Monday, and the stock has continued here and now flying up this morning. Those BMO people looking pretty smart right now.
Yeah.
27.31. I've got to look here. Now you're in that middle of that old channel, so I don't see much until you get up into that 28 area. But when you start getting up over 28, we have multiple highs up there.
You did have a high at 27.60 back on the 20th of December, that coincides with the 27.45 high that we've made in the pre-market. So look for that area to be resistance. After that, you are sneaking up back on the $28 level. But I was looking through the Barron's over the weekend, and they were doing year-end predictions for Facebook, and I just wondered what yours was.
The Barron's was the 15. Was that what they were saying? It was going.
Well, they're doing the Barron's survey.
Oh, okay. So they're trying to recover from their $15 price target. Remember that? They put that back on there. Facebook could be worth $15, and that was the bottom in the stock, and it just started rallying from there. So I don't know if I put much into the Barron. They're pretty good at evaluating a lot of stocks, but they haven't been that great on Facebook.
This was their year-end prediction thing, where you go through and you enter the contest. So I just wondered what year-end prediction was for Facebook.
No, I didn't have one, but obviously whoever was in the 26.62 area did pretty well. Where was yours, Joel?
No, for this year.
Oh, it's for this year coming up. Oh, I thought they were analyzing from last year.
No.
I don't know. I'm a short-term trader. I have no idea where it's going to be 1 year from now, and I'm not even going to try to speculate on it 1 year from now. But I will tell you, if this thing gets above 28, I'll probably be trying it from the short side once again.
Okay.
Target getting a downgrade here today, so it's not all good news. It is up. I mean, we're up 25 points, so it's hard to say a stock that gets downgraded is going to open down. But it's only up 12 cents. 59.30 is where Target's trading. This is an ugly trend line on Target.
Yeah, boy, this thing has just been sinking. Looking at the pre-market, just spotty trades in the pre-market, though. We've traded 18,000 shares. 59.44 has been the high. That takes us out of yesterday's range. 59.20 will act as support. You had a 2-day high of 59.62, so that will be your next resistance area.
And then just one other one to note, Walgreens getting an upgrade too. I do have a trading position on in this one for full disclosure, but it's getting upgraded over at Jeffries. This stock has had a nice run since the middle of November, peeled back with the cliff worries there, but starting to look bullish here again.
There may be some low-hanging fruit in that stock at 37. It traded up to that area quite a few times. I know we're trading above it in the pre-market. 37.05, that was Monday's high. That will act as support now. Next resistance level, you're moving up closer to the 37.75 level, which was a high on December 19th, but this is a thick old dog. There's a lot of stocks.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot
50
of
cent move. Yeah, it's a pretty big. There's a lot of offers in there. People that are still sleeping don't know that the SPOOs are up 25. They'll leave those offers in there and get done at a good price, and we'll see if the rally can continue.
$38 is huge on that. I see some institutional selling pressure on that too. So if the stock does continue its move, I think you'll get the high frequency resistance in the 37.90s. Let's talk about some of these financials. These are the ones that are really moving here today. You've got Citigroup up over $1, making a new high on the year. You could say we only have one day, but taking out actually the highs from last year, correct, Joel?
That is, yeah. We did have basically a double top at 40.11 and 40.18. We've taken that out. Looking at the pre-market activity, we've traded up to 40.69. That 40.70 level starting to get a little bit thick here. I guess it was a good idea to get rid of Vikram Pandit.
Wow. The stock has been unbelievable since then. Like this stock has really, since going back into August, we were down at $27, and now we're up at 40.67. This has been just an incredible move for all of the financials. Really, it's not just Citigroup. Like look at Bank of America, stock just incredible rally. We're now approaching the $12 area. Got to think there's going to be a little bit of size to chew through at 12. We're at 11.97 this morning.
Yeah, that's another big move for Bank of America. It did sneak over 12 in the pre-market. 12.03 has been the high. You got to figure there's some stock there at the $12 level. But going to your longer-term charts, when this stock came crashing down from 15 down to 10, there wasn't a whole lot in there. So going back up, it just could be the same way. Back in May of 2011 is how far you have to go back to get resistance in this stock. The high in that was 1271, so a little bit far-reaching for today, but 1271 major resistance. The high in June was 1174. And this is going back to 2011, so you got to figure there could be some stock for sale in that area.
Goldman Sachs looking good here, trading up over the 130 number here this morning. The high was on the 20th was 129.72, so it's making a new high on its move too in the pre-market. I gotta think 130 is a big number for that one too, though.
Yeah, it did sneak above that. 130.65 has been the high in the pre-market. 129.90 has been the low. Here's another stock where, our listeners should have taken the opposite position. We were talking about crashing through this 125 level. That was major support. Well, it got through there by 21 cents on Monday and now has rallied. This stock is getting into some air territory now above the 130 level. The stock whooshed down from 140 to 130. And this is, again, going back to July of 2011. So 130 handle's kind of scary in Goldman Sachs.
Let's look at some of the other Big Ten, get away from the financials for a little bit. IBM, a stock that actually opened pretty weak on Monday, but then just turned around, started rallying, didn't look back, and obviously the stocks continued the rally here this morning, trading up another $2.50 at 194.11.
Yep, you did get a tick at 194.85 in the pre-market. You do have some nice levels here. Actually, the 6-day high in the stock is 194.50. So let's keep an eye on that. Even if you get above that, you got another high at 194.95. So look for some resistance in IBM from 194.50 to 195.
When you've got all these stocks making new highs or making new highs on their move, or stocks that have approaching old big levels, you got to look at the whole numbers though. It's simple, but you've got to look because big institutions do throw out big orders at whole numbers, and the high frequency traders all note where the institutional size is. I've got to think 195 is a big number for this as well. So you were saying the 194.95. I think that number is a lot more relevant just because it's in front of a big whole number as well. So I'm looking here, obviously, if we get back up in that area, you also have the 194.85 pre-market high you're talking about. So I got to think going to be some high frequency resistance all the way from 194.80 all the way up into that 195 area. Procter Gamble, let's take a look at that one. Here's a stock that looked awful 2 days ago. Coming back, they all the same story. They all are starting to look better here. The trend overall still isn't great, obviously, on Procter & Gamble. It's come down. It's not even near it was trading just a month ago. But you got a key reversal here now, and the stock has a nice 2-day run.
Yep, looking at the pre-market high here, 68.61. Lo and behold, you go to the charts, you got a double top at 68.59 and 68.69 back on the 24th and 26th in December. So there's a reference point for you. If you're going to go with the Dennis theory, you'll use 69 as resistance.
General Electric here. This has just been a crazy move for GE. Here's the stock that we had basically looking, and it was looking like it could get all the way down to the $20 area. Not so fast. Made a low at 2026. Opened up actually near the lows are on Monday, and then and actually I bought that low too. I always sell stocks too soon. And the stock just took off, got right up. There's your whole number. Got up to $20.99, $21,
Yeah.
and then held, and that held. But that's obviously not going to hold today. Stock trading up at 21.36 now, and now you get into a whole vacuum area here again.
Yeah, you had those. I believe it was 4 or 5 highs in the last 6, 7 trading sessions between 2094 and 21. Busted through that in the pre-market. You do have a reference point. 21.24 was a high on December 20th, and then you got another high at 21.66. Big move for GE. 36 cents on 142,000. You gotta believe there'll be some sellers here. Why don't we split those two numbers, call 21.50 if it gets their major resistance?
I like the 21.50 number too, so I'll call that one major resistance as well. What's your overall thoughts here? Like here we are, you've got a lot of traders possibly not long or caught short. Obviously, any of you traders out there who were long coming into today, congratulations, you're dead right. But what do you do if you're short here, Joel? What do you do?
If you're short, if you're short, you don't want to hear what I have to say. You just got to be a moron. You got to put moron in.
Oh, are you really? Are you gonna go that way? You're up at You're up at resistance here. You would definitely have resistance up here in this area, but it's so scary though. Like I just don't know. Like you got basically another 10 points to get to the top end of all the resistance area up in that 1460. But man, it's so scary though to add to positions, especially if you're under serious water here, and especially when the overall sentiment coming in from 2 days ago was terrible. I just don't know if there's just so many people caught short. I think that's most of this rally. Obviously, you've got people that were selling stocks before the end of the year here. Now they're trying to rebuy them at a lot higher price. It's scary to short here, though.
Yeah, I mean, if let it shake out on the open. Use this 14.48 1/4. That's been the high. That's your reference point as of now. You got to figure a nice number like 14.50 might have some resistance. If you're really willing that take some heat and you're shorting in this area, that 14.53.50 area is another area of major resistance. But you're looking now. With the S&P's up 26 now, we'll probably rally a little bit, maybe get up 30 on the day, sell off a little bit. And then, probably close right here, and a lot of the activity was done overnight. But still the reference point I'm using on the downside in order to look for a decent pullback would be 14.43 1/4. And then if you get below the Globex low, 14.38 1/4, then you have basically a 13-point gap down to Monday's high.
Well, that's our show for today. Have a great trading day. It looks like the Bulls are going to have a great trading day. We'll be back with you tomorrow.